We're starting this thing. We got the van, temporarily named Van Diesel. Not sure if that's gonna stick, but
I lost the 13 this time, not the 10.
I don't know what that means.
Car guys know that you always lose the 10 wheel. I can't find the 13.
We got some batteries going on. One of these batteries, which one? This one looks bad. That one looks bad. This one looks good. Went to start it up after a couple of weeks of having it. Didn't start. So we got a little bit of problem solving.
Oh, I got the 13.
He got the 13. He got it. So I gotta dump this thing. I don't even know if you guys can see what I'm looking at. But here's a quick current tour of the inside of the van. So I moved out of Austin, back up here at my brother's place for the build. And this is it, Chevy! That's our mascot. Chevy's a mascot. So it's a,
Check it out.
got a little bit of rust to take care of, but she's in pretty damn good shape. And I'm pumped about this, look at that. I can lock it and unlock it from the back.
Except that it doesn't work right now.
Except it's not on. Alright, so first order of business is get used to this gimbal again. And first thing I gotta do is, well, I guess technically this, I think this is a gimbal, is get rid of the surface rust. I'm gonna pull that driver's seat out, rip up the floor mat, make sure it's all rust free, clean it, plug the holes, insulate, drop the floor in the subfloor, and then I've got some pretty nice vinyl tongue and groove planks that I'm gonna use, and that's week one. Quick update to the van. It is so empty. Took the seats out in the middle of cleaning it right now. There's 266,000 miles worth of dirt and grime and all that stuff I gotta clean up, but it's pretty empty right now. Looking project worthy. So let's get to it. Alright gang, I'm going to show you what I decided to do to, fingers crossed, take care of the rust inside of this van. So there's a lot of rust, a lot more rust under the paint than it first looked whenever I bought the van. So I did a lot of searching. This rust dissolver right here, so it's a gel, it goes on kind of thick, you put it on for I don't know, as much as you need, keep the surface wet, hit it with water. So I ended up doing that in a certain area of the van, you'll see here in a second, putting water across the whole thing, letting it sit for like an hour, and brushing it off, hitting it with a hose, and it came out, like I was really impressed with how much of this surface rust this stuff took off. I just finished spraying this on it, which is supposed to make any surface rust material immediately ready for paint, and that it won't create any more rust. So I'll spin the camera around, you can see there's more rust here than there is black paint or whatever this product is now. But I wanted to show you, this is where the majority of the rust is, and this is all just one can, not as much as I thought was going to come out of this. but it looks like it did the trick. It hit all the spots that I either used a wire brush or an angle grinder to get down to the metal. And so now I'm going to hit essentially just a primer. I'm going to cover the floor up anyways, but the biggest thing here I don't want is to, a year down the road, 6 months down the road, because I'm traveling in a salty or cold environment, I don't want to run into a situation where I've got a shit ton of rust and I have to deconstruct the thing after only being in it for like 8 months. So final step before I put down my vapor barrier for the floor is this. Can you see it here? Damn. Is this clean metal primer, essentially just getting it ready for paint. So I did a wire brush, excuse me, a wire wheel. I used an angle grinder. I hand sanded it. I used a machine sander. Probably could have done without the hand and machine sander because they really didn't do shit. But I hit it with the gel. It's supposed to be a chemical, stop all the rust. I hit it with this stop rust matte finish black stuff. Now I'm gonna hit it with a primer, so that shit should be sealed up. If there's any rust at all, it's gonna come from outside. I'm fairly confident in that. So let's go ahead and put on my mask. We'll use my my trusty cool / heat fan, and all right, this is it. This is what we got. It's not the cleanest spray, but it's all covered for the most part, and I'm feeling pretty good about the coverage. You can see where the difference in the white is. Some of the black's kind of still going through, but I don't think it matters. I think we've got good coverage. I'm content with the fact that the rust will not continue, or at least that's what it says on the bottles. So let's just keep going. All right, gang. It is day what? What is the day? I think it's day 10 of the van build, and it's not too bad out here right now. But it's been raining. It's been raining pretty funky, but it's been raining on and off. I want to say, put these things on. It's been raining at least 5 of the 10 days that I've been here, and between that and honestly just working in this new mentorship program I'm in, haven't had a lot of time to work on the van. However, I just want to give you guys a quick update. I'm hoping to have a couple hours to get into it today. But as you can see, the floor is officially going in. Now what I did is I chose, maybe it'll advise, tell me what you guys think in the comments, but I chose not to do heavy insulation on the floor. Number one, this thing from floor rib to ceiling rib is only 4 foot 2.5 inches, and I'm not going to get all of that. I'm going to be pushing about 4 inches max. So I ended up doing this. I ended up just getting this vapor barrier kind of tarp looking thing. I put that down, and then I used this stuff. It's like a I don't know, it's this thing. It's supposed to help with the extra vapor barrier, sound deadening. We're going to put that especially along where the windows would be. But I went around and I sealed, you can see all around the edges where I sealed along the wheel well, the gas nozzle thing, over there, right around the base where the seam of the van is, and actually ended up putting down. You might be able to see them through here. Yeah, you can see them through here. These I just bought some hardboard and cut it the width in between each of the ribs to help kind of create a little bit of the even floor. There's still about 2 mils difference between the ribs, the rib height, and the hardboard. The hardboard is a little bit lower, but I did that on purpose to kind of give it a little bit of air to breathe. And I put 2 layers down of this. It says 2 mils, but man, that stuff is thin. 2 mils underlayment, and it really helps to kind of cushion an awful lot. So you can see here, I've started putting the vinyl floor planks down, and it's come along pretty well. Not too shabby. First go around, not really any woodworking or floor experience, but I decided to do a diagonal approach with these because it's such a small space. Oops. The van is such a small space as it is. I'm not exactly the smallest guy in the world, and I don't have a huge budget to dump into this thing, so everything I can do design-wise to make it feel like it's a much bigger space visually, I'm definitely deploying some of my art school tactics that I learned my first few years in college into the space to make sure that it feels welcoming, it feels clean, it feels more open than it really is, and that's it. So I just want to give you guys a quick update, and that's it. What are you doing, babe? All right, fam. Stage one of the floor install is complete, and I still have to do a little bit of padding, really just next to this. What do you call this thing? A B column? A B pillar. Right underneath this B pillar is a very small piece, and then a second layer of sound deadening vapor barrier around the edge. But essentially, it's in. I got the diagonal cut that I wanted. I've got some plans for this space underneath here for sure, as a little bit of storage and step up. I went diagonal because I wanted to celebrate this sort of natural diagonal portion and really kind of bring that into this space. It being such a small space and very clear that I'll be in a box when I'm traveling. Everything design-wise, I'm going to try some tricks and hacks to make it feel like I'm not in a box and really kind of change some of the angles. So let's get a walk around. I'll show you guys from the other side. But so far for the first build, it's not the cleanest lines in the world, but I'm pretty happy with it, and it's come out pretty darn good. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here at 2.5 weeks of building. Or maybe closer to 2 weeks, but hopefully the weather is kind to us and I can continue to get out here for more than like an hour a day and keep this thing going.